Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. Today we'll be recording episode 11, which I believe is the fourth episode of chapter 2. Fourth episode. Different chapters will have different lengths, but this is about the halfway point for chapter 1. So we might be starting to get into the really crazy stuff here soon. I might also just be a longer chapter, and I might be going through the actual, the days slower. I'm only on 4? Are you serious? Ooh, sheesh. Okay, we're probably not even close to the halfway point then. How many were there for number 1? Wasn't it 15 or something? Is that an exaggeration? I don't know. There were some short ones, though. Whatever. Who cares? We're making some good progress. I'm excited to jump back into it. We have the kind of date with Shion today. And it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic develops. I don't know. The whole Shion dynamic, I'm enjoying it so far. It's interesting seeing that with Mion. And I kind of wonder if the more and more that, I can't help but wonder if as Keiichi hangs out with Shion more, it might affect Mion, right? Like normal Mion as Mion. If it might affect her. Affect her mental, that, he's hanging out with Shion all the time, but was never that way with her. I'm intrigued, right? I feel like it's gonna reach that bubbling point eventually, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it'd be that crazy if it's the chapter after the kind of date thing they got going on, But let's go ahead and jump into it. The only way to really figure it out is to just play and see, Let's go ahead and boot it up. Please tell me I saved, right? Yeah. Okay. I was wondering if for a second I just hadn't saved last time and was actually one ahead, but no. I guess it makes sense. I know in episode 1 I did a shorter one. The episode after that I did 2. Last episode it was pretty long, even with just one chapter, so I didn't want to do another. Okay, let's jump into chapter 5 then. I knew we wouldn't be doing any club activities after school today before Mion even said anything. I'd been invited over by Shion for an all-you-can-eat dessert. I made a point of leaving half my lunch uneaten. My expectations would only be rivaled by my hunger. That boy prepared. Oh, he is hyped, bro. Oh yeah. I guess it was obvious. Rena questioned me with a happy look. That's right. Why don't I invite Rena for desserts as well? Now, if I recall correctly, Shion said something about having a ticket. At worst, the restaurant might be admission by ticket only today. If that was the case, then having Rena be turned away at the door would result in the worst feeling ever.
ちょっとしたラッキーでさ、明日報告してやるよ。レナ、きっと羨ましがるぜ。
Oh yeah, she'll be jealous, alright, because she's probably stalking you, brother. I love how in all of this we've just ignored that Rena's a psycho, right? Whatever the cause of that is, right? We don't know, but we saw in the last route that Rena was stalking this man, right? Probably for a while. There's a good chance it wasn't until after she went kind of crazy, but we don't know that for sure. I don't think, right? I don't think we know that for sure. I don't know when the ramen thing happened, right? When she was watching him the whole time, right? Was that in the middle of the chapter, or was that had he bought that months before? I don't know. Goodness, always yawning, no reason. But I don't know. I do feel like if Rena found out he's been hanging out with Shion, or basically Mion, every day for the past several days, I feel like she would get really jealous. I feel like that is exactly what would happen. We would see that other side of Rena you know, that we saw in Chapter 1 and that he was kind of refusing to think about in Chapter 2. I think that's exactly what would happen. I don't know, how would that work? Would Rena and Mion be kind of pitted against each other? I don't know. I'm not going to theorize too much on that, but it's intriguing to kind of think about what might happen with Rena in this chapter, because I haven't really thought about it too much. I've been so worried about what's going to happen with Mion, right, that I haven't thought about the fact that we know who Rena is to a degree, you know? We know she's not who she appears, and I wouldn't be surprised if that makes an appearance and really stirs up this chapter. Let's move on.
なんだろうなんだろう。いいのいいの。そのラッキーって可愛いかなかな。
Not really? Cute? I wonder what Rena would think of the uniforms at Angel Mort. Okay. Ooh. That is a valid point. That's a valid point. She might find that cute. They'd definitely be a critical hit.
多分
Yeah, true.
かなり可愛いかも。
Yeah, now you're getting stalked.
へえ、いいのいいの。何かな何かな。
へえ、どんな幸運に恵まれたのやら。
Yeah, crazy. I wonder, Mion, what could it be?
あれひょっとして2月くらい前にエンジェルモートで三角くじとか引いた？
Yeah, totally.
それに当たった？
Something like that.
おいおい、俺は2月前にはまだ転校してきてないぞ。
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain your way out of that one. I hadn't even thought about that. Bro, how's he gonna explain that he got these tickets? Bro was not even here to win them.
ああ、そっか。じゃあエンジェルのデザートフェスタでもないし。
みーちゃん、エンジェルのデザートフェスタって何かな。
ほら、沖宮の駅前の正面にエンジェルモートっていうファミレスがあるじゃない？
Yeah.
あそこではね、季節の変わり目に新デザートのお披露目イベントをやるんだよ。それが今日でね。あ、言っても無駄だよ。くじ当選者以外は入店できない貸し切りデーだから。
Okay, so that is exactly. He was right on that front. Mion explained once again what Shion explained to me last night.
レナも今度からお店に通ってみよう。頑張ってくじを当てて次のデザート食べ放題を狙うの。
頑張れ。
Yeah.
ちなみ
good
に
luck.
聞いた話だと、当選くじはマニア垂涎のプラチナチケットで闇では高値で取引されてるなんて噂が。
On the black market. Hearing that story, I felt even more appreciative of the ticket that Shion had procured for me. I just thought I was lucky to be able to eat dessert for free, but it turned out that that ticket was much more valuable. The number of things I had to thank Shion for it increased again.
ありがとな。そんなに価値があるものなんて俺全然知らなくて。
I whispered in a voice only Mion could hear. That was how I conveyed my feelings. Mion looked at me for a moment before she tilted her head to the side and smiled confusedly.
何？なんか言った？
Nope. It would be a problem if you said something to me right now. That smile seemed to be telling me as much. I guess Mion wouldn't be accepting any gratitude while she was Mion. I'll go to the restaurant. Today, I'll thank Mion while she's Shion.
じゃ、おじさんはこの辺で失礼するわ。今日のバイトはちょっとハードなんだよな。じゃあね。
Later. Mion waved her hand energetically as she left.
ねえケイチくん、なんだかみーちゃん最近変なの。
Yeah, she has.
浮かれてるっていうか嬉しそうっていうか。
Like she's elated or something.
そうなのか？
Rena was pretty sharp when it came to these types of things. Mion seemed the same as always, but Rena apparently felt something different.
ケイチくんは知らないのかな。てっきり知ってるのかなって思って。
Look, I'm sorry, we're not all like you, dang. Rena's skirt fluttered as she spun around with a coy smile.
知ってるって俺が何を？
I was obviously weaseling my way out of the question, but I wasn't lying. Honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. Why did Shion, a persona of Mion that she'd created, appear before me? Something was blatantly up, but Rena paid it no heed.
そっか。じゃあ何なんだろうね。 でもみーちゃんが機嫌いいとレナも嬉しいよ。はう。
Oh no. Maybe she's gonna be an ally. Saying that, she spread her arms wide and spun around happily. I don't know why, but Rena was in a really good mood. It was so infectious that I had to smile too. Even the chirping of the cicadas seemed joyful.
でもね、
Oh, wait. Rena abruptly stopped spinning. Her expression had returned to a more somber one.
みーちゃんね、つい最近ね、すごく傷つけられたの。
As she. That's not that surprising to me.
傷つけって、え？
I'm gonna guess emotional. The pain that Rena was talking about probably wasn't physical.
はじめはあまり気にしてないふりをしてたけど、
Yeah, I have thoughts on this. We'll get through this.
怪我と同じ。だんだん腫れてきた。じんじん腫れてきた。とうとう痛みがこらえられなくなって、夜中に目を覚ました。そして、レナに電話してきたの。みーちゃんは泣いてた。
Dang.
ごめん。それ、何の話だよ。
何の話？レ
Crazy.
ナは今、何か話をしてたのかな？
Okay, dodging the question.
おい、そんなとぼけ方するなよ。今、レナは。
知らない。
Not gonna tell us.
レナは何も知らないよ。
Yeah, you just admitted she called you, but sure, you don't know anything. Rena spun as she laughed innocently. Eventually, she appeared to get sick, stumbling as she steadied herself with her hand against the wall.
目が回って。
The room?
バカだな。調子に乗ってぐるぐる回ってるからだよ。
Yeah, you gotta relax.
ごめん。気持ち悪いかも。
I'll lend the dit's a shoulder to lean on. To be stumbling around like a newborn foal at this age is actually quite a feat. Rena, in a good mood, only babbled incoherently after that. I laughed as I responded to and chided her. However, the chance to revisit that heavy topic Rena had brought up before never arrived. Probably intentional. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. About what that heavy topic is. What is it that hurt Mion so much that she pretended to ignore it and it kind of festered? And in my opinion, it's kind of obvious. You can kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it really blatantly has felt for a while like she's taken a problem with the way that Keiichi treats her. I think, despite her never seeming to have a problem with it, she doesn't like the fact that she doesn't see him as a girl, right? Just as a person, right? I'm gonna guess that means like she has a crush on him or something, right? Hold on. Yeah, that would explain exactly what makes her feel elated recently, because finally she has like Keiichi's attention, right? If that's what that is, and it very well could be that. That's what it feels like to me. But I mean, let's look at it like this: like, lately she's been in a lot of pain. What do you mean pain? She tried to pretend it wasn't a big deal, but like a wound, it began to fester and grow. Eventually, she was no longer able to bear the pain and woke up in the middle of the night. And she phoned Rena. Michan was crying. And so to me, it feels like the one thing, especially that they, like, especially in this chapter, that they had really established, that they kind of established early on, in the very first episode. And I actually mentioned this, was, what was it? Just the fact that he treats her different. Hold on. Videos, captures. Let me pull up the screenshot of the CG that I'm referring to. Because at the very beginning, when they were at the toy store, right, it was something small, the dolls, right? He didn't give Mion one of the dolls because he thought it didn't suit her. And in fact, I think Rena ended up, didn't she end up getting like 2 or something? Right? And Mion was like, it's okay, right? Yeah, it doesn't bother me. but you can see it in her face. Man, it bothered her. And I think I even mentioned that at the time. I hope I did. I'm pretty sure I did. And that kind of fits this description. You know, she pretended it wasn't a big deal. Like a wound, it festered, and then she was no longer able to bear it. And then all of a sudden, Shion shows up. Right? Eventually, she is. She's being the girl that Keiichi never sees her as. And then suddenly she's been elated recently. I think that's exactly what that is. It seems pretty clear to me. That's exactly what Rena meant. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Of course I could be wrong. But I've said it a few times. It seems pretty obvious to me. Let me pull up the CG real quick. I don't want that to play that. Okay, here's the CG I am talking about. Look at her face, right? Literally just look at her face, right? You cannot tell me that is not a look of like disappointment and trying to pretend to hide that you're not okay, right? Or you can go over here, right? When this smile happened, I remember him explicitly saying he never really seen Mion like that. You know, he'd never really seen that kind of smile from Mion. It seems pretty obvious to me what's going on here. And I mean, again, I suppose I could be wrong. But it seems extremely likely to me that I'm not, frankly. Like, this is one of the things I'm most sure on through all of this. Okay, let's go ahead and move on, though. Kind of done a little bit of theory crafting. I do that a lot. I feel like recently that's been slowing down how fast I can get through the chapters, but I don't really care. I enjoy theory crafting, and so if I can get a few of the mysteries right because of that, and correctly identify things, I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys enjoy it too, like that I really interact with the story like that. So far it seems like you guys do, but either way, I really hope you do at least. Let's move on though. As soon as I got home, I tossed aside my school bag and changed in a hurry. The effects of only having a light lunch were starting to show, as my stomach began to let out fickle growls. Alright, let's go, to Angel Mort. It's time to face the land of endless dessert. Preparations for battle are complete. Tally-ho! He is ecstatic. Boy said, tally-ho! Angel Mort had a decidedly different feel to it compared to yesterday. Dessert Festa today. Admittance by reservation only. Nonetheless, the front of the store was being swarmed by over a dozen young men. Judging by how they were looking upwards in jealousy instead of entering the store, they weren't invitees. Why would they gather here if they knew they couldn't get in? I found out the answer when I passed through the crowd and began to climb the steps to enter the restaurant. Nope. As soon as I said that, I was immediately mobbed. It was like being in the middle of a football scrum or a crowded train. What is going on? The reason was this. It wasn't just one ticket per person. One ticket could let up to 4 people inside. Seems like it. Oh yeah, you're about to get jumped, bro. With an uplifting smile, I turned and ignored them. When I did, their arms all reached out at once, like the souls of the damned seeking succor? What selfish people. This was the only reason they were crowded in front of the restaurant. Dozens of wretched arms reached out for me like the teeth on a giant rake and grasped at the air. That boy hit the big dip. I was already climbing the stairs to the entrance. Boy, this isn't something to joke about. I flew up the rest of the stairs and threw myself inside the restaurant. It was like I had entered a different world. The miserable throng of the damned hurled curses at me from the other side of the glass door. And inside of this completely soundproofed and air-conditioned restaurant, with the angelic smile of a waitress to welcome me, they were nothing more than a refreshing piece of scenery. I knew that I shouldn't laugh, but I began to let out a sinister cackle.
いらっしゃいませ。エンジェルモートへ。本日はデザートフェスタにつき、チケットのお客様のみの貸し切りになっております。チケットとご方面をお伺いしてもよろしいでしょうか。
チケットはないけど名簿に名前があると思います。前原です。
前原。
Is this the part where he's not on there? Okay. It would have been really
失
awkward.
礼ですが、フルネームでお伺いしてよろしいですか？
圭一です。前原圭一。
大変失礼いたしました。特別招待の前原圭一様ですね。お
Yeah.
席へご案内いたします。どうぞこちらへ。
I don't think he really had a ticket anyways. Like, I don't know that he could have admitted extra people because he was here by special invitation. Sounds like Shion really pulled some strings, huh? The mood inside the room was incredibly heated. The booths were packed to the brim. Men in their prime were stuffing their faces with dainty desserts that didn't suit them at all. It was a rather unnerving spectacle. Soon after I was shown to my seat, Shion arrived.
いらっしゃいませ。ようこそエンジェルモーターへ。
よーしよ。今日は本当にありがとうな。世話になりに来たぜ。
ちょっと遅かったから心配しました。でも来てくれて嬉しいです。
Yeah, like he was gonna miss this. It may have been because other customers were around that her tone was less casual, but she still capped off that welcome with her usual brilliant smile.
見ての通り、今日はお客さんがすっごいんで、定時に抜けさせてもらえるかちょっと自信がないんです。
Yeah, it doesn't look like it, so we're just gonna stuff our face and we can talk later, I guess.
私の仕事が終わるまでのんびりしててくださいね。終わったら一緒に遊びに行きましょうね。
Huh? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Whispering just that last part into my ear, Shion winked and returned to the kitchen. Bro, nah, what do you mean by that? Like, for real, you can't just say that in a whisper into his ear and wink and then walk away, bro. Oh, nah. Maybe it was because the mood in the restaurant was so heated, but Shion seemed a bit bolder. Even a small change in her mannerisms was enough to set my heart aflutter.
お待たせしました。
Boy's gonna meet up with her. And watch, it's gonna be something crazy. Like, she's gonna go, like, psycho mode and kill him. Try to. While I was overwhelmed by the atmosphere inside the restaurant, orders from the new summer menu were carried out one after another. Every single one was extravagantly huge. I get it. You can eat all of these amazing things for free. No wonder a ticket was worth its weight in gold. On top of that, all of it was plenty delicious. From dishes with a general appeal to insane ones aimed at a specific audience, there were absolutely no gaps in their repertoire.
どう考えても一人で食う量じゃないかもしれないな。
I'll find a way.
まあそれは置いておいて。
It didn't feel relaxing in here at all. Probably because the fervor inside the restaurant was clearly abnormal. All the other booth seats were crammed with groups of 4. Sleazy men were gorging like pigs on cutely decorated desserts. It wouldn't have been a surprise if they started licking their plates. It's more than a little unsettling. It piqued my interest, so I started listening in on their conversation. What things I heard. Alright.
Angel Mort moe.
Yeah, I already know they're diabolical, bro. I'm already knowing.
僕ですか。当選チケットは秘密ルートから7万で購入したっつ。
70,000? You're tripping. Sorry, I had to make sure that wasn't one of my friends. Needing a ride or something.
職場には親戚の葬式でと言ったにゃりんよ。
Y'all are fiends. What is wrong with you
エン
guys?
ジェルは制服が最高にゃり。
You guys need help.
ウェイトレスさん、水とかズボンにこぼしてふきふきとかしてくれないかにゃー。にゃーにゃー。エンジェルモートのフィギュアが今度発売されるらしいでござる。
Bro, what? No shot.
次のイベントは要注意でござる。
Angel Mort figures?
そうそう。今度大手フィギュアメーカーが商品化を決めたそうであります。発売日は要チェックなのであります。
Down bad.
しかし大人買いするには種類が多すぎるのでごわすな。
You'll find a way.
普通のファミレス制服のフィギュアなら10種類程度でごわすのに、今度のはシークレットポーズ差分込みでざっと100種類。
100?
ダブった時は誰かトレードしてもらいたいでおじゃる。ファンとしては即日コンプは義務。いや 君と僕とのディスティニーでおじゃるよ。
You guys are down horrendous. The words spilling out of their mouths are pretty much all incomprehensible jargon. But they still keenly conveyed that hidden behind them was an invisible aura of abnormality. Hidden behind them? Where was it hidden? Oh, that's like trying... That's about as hidden as you are when you're playing like hide and seek with a baby, and you're like, just put your hands in front of your face, and then peekaboo, like, no, nothing was hidden. Like, you were still there. Like, it was so obvious. There was nothing hidden behind them. There wasn't no invisible aura. That was the most blatant aura I've ever seen. It was bright neon green. What? There was nothing hidden there.
お待たせしました。次のデザートは南国風シナモンのアバンチュールでございます。
Tropical cinnamon love affair? What kind of name is that?
どうかなさいましたか？
あ、いえ。なんかこう、今日の店内は雰囲気が違うなと。
うちのお店、その道の方々にはかなり有名らしいんです。
Yeah, in the down bad circles?
まあ、そういう狙いのお店ですから、いいんですけどね。
Yeah, that's the target audience, unfortunately.
でもイベントの日のお客様はちょっと濃いめの方が多いんで困っちゃいます。
Yeah, one dude said he spent 70,000 yen on this, bro. Like, that's roughly $700, right? I think it's more than that. I don't remember exactly how it works, if it's slightly less or more than dividing by 10. But it's around there, right? $700 for a ticket to this. You spend that much, yeah, you're getting the weirdest of the weird, the most obsessed of the obsessed. Like, that's just how it is. The waitress informed me quietly with a wry
なん
smile.
かお客の人たちも千葉知ってて、ハイエナみたいですよね。
Yeah.
今日のお客さんのほとんどはかなり遠方から無理してきてるみたいですからね。
I wouldn't be surprised if we heard that one of them booked a flight from a different country.
そういう方々ってハメを外しやすいんでちょっと怖いんです。
And she's just telling us all this. I mean, you're not wrong, but
ちゃんとガードを固めておかないと大変なんですから。
yeah, y'all better keep your guard up. What does she mean by keep your guard up? At that moment, a large crash resounded through the room. Were they breaking in? Uh-oh. I turned around startled to see that a waitress had fallen down and spilled the order she was carrying right onto a customer. Wait, isn't that Shion? Oh no, bro. Uh-oh. This is gonna get bad.
すみませんでした。
Boy, you better help her. Because I already know this is about to get out of hand.
そのお召し物は、
Yeah, I think it's on the dude.
なんてことするにゃり。某ジーンズ専門店で1800円もしたズボンが生クリームでベトベトにゃりよ。はあ
I know he ain't worried about some $20 jeans, bro. What the hell is that? Somebody who just met with disaster, he seems awfully happy.
これはひどいですにょ。ウェイトレスさんが精神誠意ふきするしかないでござるにょ。
Y'all need help. The conversation suddenly veered off in an odd direction. Yeah, sexually, like, harassing direction. Hey, what did he say? Wipey? Did he want Shion to wipe him down? Right over that obviously aberrant tent he had pitched over his crotch. Oh, brother. No, not the tent, bro.
でも、私。
Keiichi, go wipe the man down.
ふき
This is why they were so desperate to be here, bro. Like this exact situation. The wipey chant quickly spread throughout the room. Totally cornered, Shion went pale. She looked over to a more experienced waitress for help. Was only met with a head shaking out of pity. Not really much that could be
園崎さ
done.
ん、
足を引っ掛けられたんですね。
Of course she
ああ
was.
やってわざと衣服を汚させて絡んでくるお客が最近多いんですよ。
Y'all need help.
足を引っ掛けてだって？じゃあ今のあれも事故じゃなくて恋？
Beat the brakes off of that
メイ
dude.
ンの女の子は十分気をつけてますから絶対ああはならないんですけど、園崎さんは短期バイトだからまだガードが甘くて、
Ugh. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
今日のお客様たちにも早々に見破られちゃったみたいで、朝からあんな感じで絡まれてるんです。
Why'd they still have her working? That's kind of foul.
店長とかは何やってんだよ。あんな不良な客は追い出せよ。
In the service industry, so there's not much we can do about it. She laughed as she said that in a resigned tone. Shion trembled uncontrollably with a dishcloth in her hands as she turned bright red. The man who had been doused in frosting splayed out on the bench, putting the cream-covered tint over his crotch on full display. Ugh. I hate that I read that sentence. Still mentally unprepared, her trembling hand inched forward, goaded on by
さあ
onlookers.
さあさあ、ふきふきするでござるよ。
From my male point of view, it might have been a ridiculous spectacle I could just smile wryly at. But from a woman's point of view, this was obviously pure humiliation. Is he gonna do something about it? I hope so. Gotta protect your own. When I was trapped by those thugs and had been paralyzed with fear, Shion fearlessly stood up to them and saved me. You owe her one. Still, as humiliating as it was, Shion was also partly to blame for this. And it wasn't as though her life was at stake, right? Oh no, was this gonna be the event that he, like, didn't help her from? That's gonna bug her? Even these guys, they're just gonna layer her in a bit of a lewd situation. It's not like they're gonna eat Shion alive or anything. It'd be alright if I just consoled her afterwards.
私だって怖かったですよ。でも他ならぬケイちゃんのピンチだし、
Yeah, bro, come on. Be better than
勇気
that.
出して頑張りましたってことです。
When I, a man, was being assailed by 3 thugs while paralyzed with fear, Shion saved me without a second thought. And that doesn't sound like it was without a second thought, but, you know. What about now? These sleazy, filthy degenerates were trying to pin the blame on Shion. This time, our roles were reversed. Hey, Keiichi Maibara, if you don't save her now, when will you be able to repay the debt you owe her? You scared, Keiichi Maibara? At that time, Shion, no, Mion, didn't even show a hint of hesitation. Then what about now? I'm not hesitating. Then what? If you're not hesitating, then why aren't you helping her? You're hesitating.
さあ、観念するでござる。
Bro, you all need, like, serious help. Like, if you actually act this way, that's disgusting. I know there are weirdos that act this way.
ほほほ。
やかましいぞ重量オーバー。俺の目が黒いうちに出て失せろ。
I grasped Shion's shoulders firmly and pulled her behind me.
ケイちゃん。
Golly, you greasy fat ass. Oh my. He deserves it though.
そのスタッフが世のオズボンに粗相したのでござるよ。
お仕置きが必要なのは男なら能書き吐くな。腕で物を言ってみろ。
Golly. Yeah, he's finna get kicked out, but yeah, that might have been a bit over the top. Thud, smash. My body was lifted in the air like nothing. I was thrown right back into my own seat. That boy got... Oh, okay. No, he was not all talk. I'll give him that. That boy got rocked. This guy is strong? That's that fat power. No matter how you look at it, athletic and this lardo aren't even in the same area
ふ
code.
ふふ。オタクは意外にマイナーな武道を得得していることが多いでござるから甘く見ると大変でござるよ。
Misunderestimating us? The man smirked, showing off his gum line.
ケイちゃん、大丈夫？
Damn it. How lame must I look right now?
シオンは足を引っ掛けられたんだろう。向こうが悪いんだから突き上がらせることなんかないぞ。
そうだけど、でもやっぱり悪いのは
Hell no.
私だし。
Hell no.
もう一度だ。行くぞ。
He's gonna get rocked again. Snap, thud, crash. Rock.
これくらいでへこたれる圭一様だと思うなよ。もう一度だ。
Whack, snap, thunk. That boy getting...
お
Yeah, that boy getting rocked.
口ほどにもないでござるの。
He is indeed all talk.
まだまだ。
Rise, my will to fight. Not just running. I planted every one of my steps firmly as I closed the distance to the lard ball. Each time I ripped my foot off the floor, I could feel my burning spirit flare up from the point of impact. I feel like he's about to get stopped. Everything slowed down like I was walking underwater. As I stepped forward in that viscous flow of time, I calmly measured the gap between us. With our difference in height, reach was my ultimate advantage. There was an ever so tiny distance between us where only my punch would be able to reach. I unleashed my iron fist of righteous anger. But it flew towards his face slowly, like I was punching underwater. Reacting to that, with a smirk on his face, the fatso easily slipped inside of my punch. I hadn't realized it until now, but in this mired time, I was able to observe his baffling counterattack with almost painful clarity. His arm slowly sprung around in a large windmill motion, wrapped around my whiffed punch, and ascended in an arc. That arm swung around like the arms of a clock, and came into contact with my head, twisting my upper body around. Boy, you just got slumped, didn't you? Dragging my head along, he followed through with another rotation. This time he rotated his entire body like a top, followed by another rotation. Oh my god. That's a move straight out of an anime, bro. I'm already knowing. Combining defense and offense. It was a brilliant counter. That's right. 3 times. I was thrown after 3 rotations, I think. In this viscous region of time, I was unable to struggle, and I could only wait dumbstruck until the moment I was thrown. The moment I was, that sluggish temporal anomaly abruptly ended. Crash. Yeah, he's totally about to get thrown out, but at least he tried to defend her. I was loath to admit it, but against somebody trained in martial arts, I couldn't win through force of will alone. Maybe he, After my consciousness faded in a wave of dizziness, when I came to, I was lying down in my own seat. You know, the hope is that maybe he at least got, gave Shion some time to get out of there, or, like, make the guy, like, forget.
怪我しなくてよかったですね。
The more experienced waitress from before wiped the sweat from my brow with a towel. While she was doing that, a red-faced and teary-eyed Shion trudged over.
大丈夫ですか?
That boy has... No, he lost half his brain cells.
私なんかのためにすみませんでした。
What, getting his ass beat for your sake? Yeah, he got nay-nayed.
俺こそ役に立たなくてすまん。俺喧嘩って勝ったことないし。
Yeah, we can tell.
私のために助けに来てくれただけで嬉しかったです。
You know, it's the thought that counts in a way. At least you tried. At least you didn't sit there paralyzed in fear and let her do it. You know?
本当ですよ。それだけでも今日はケイちゃんに来てもらえてよかったかなって。
Yeah. As she said that, she stuck her tongue out teasingly. She wiped off the whipped cream with the washcloth she was holding in her hands.
園崎さん、R 入ってもいいですよ。
Yeah.
あと 1,2 時間でしょ。いいんです。バイトとはいえお給料もらってる身ですから、時間内はちゃんと働きたいんです。だから本当お気遣いなく。
Fair enough. I feel like they're gonna insist, though. She couldn't even put up a brave front. I would never even think for a second that Mion could be that weak. This was Shion, and she had been harassed by some unreasonable riffraff. That was reality.
ケイちゃんは気にしないでデザートいっぱい食べててくださいね。
Say no more.
一通り食べ終わったらアンケートを書いてもらいますので。じゃあ私ホールに戻りますね。
After some consoling words and a sympathetic smile to Shion, the other waitress started to head back to work. That's where I stopped
す
her.
みません、ウェイトレスさん。電話借りたいんですけど。
電話ですか？レジ横にございますよ。ご案内いたします。
I pulled a 10 yen coin from my wallet. This wasn't about saving face. My being a worthless coward was an unchangeable fact, I could just cry myself to sleep about that later tonight. Now is not the time for tears. I had to fight.
確かチケット1枚で4人まで OK なんですよね。あと3人呼んでもいいんですよね。
ええ、そうですけど、一応名簿に書きますので、お名前を伺ってもよろしいですか？
Well, I can think of 3 friends. I turned around and glared at the greasy hooligan who subjected Shion to the humiliation. There are 3 things that aren't working in your favor today, punk. Golly, what is he planning? The first is that I owe Shion. The second is that I'm a man who's not afraid to throw away his pride to win. And the third is that we're the most powerful club members in history. Oh, he's bringing the whole club. I kind of feel like Shion was trying to spend this time alone with him, but you know.
名簿には竜宮レナ、それから北条聡子、フルで理科で。
かしこまりました。受けたまわります。
All of the best and most powerful club members join the fray. They can bring down 1,000 foes. I mean, I don't know if they could do that in combat, but like, okay, Rena could. But you fat asses, prepare to meet your maker.
いいお店だね。はう、制服かいい。レナも着たい。はう。しかもデザートまでおごってもらえるなんて、僕は大感激なのです。
ああ、好きなだけ食ってくれ。
Yeah.
俺の分なんか気にするな。
ケイチさん、茶番は結構でございますのよ。
Did she read
要件
us?
に入ってほしいですわ。
Yeah, she read us, bro. Ren and Rika-chan put down their forks when Satoko broached the subject. After looking at them for a few moments, I pressed my forehead firmly into the table.
頼む。俺の不甲斐なさを笑ってもいい。力を貸してくれ。
The 3 of them seemed surprised by the sudden turn of events, but nevertheless listened to what I had to say without making fun of my unusual behavior. You know what I just thought about? Shion's here. Like, how are they gonna interact with that? Is everybody gonna have the little... Is everybody gonna be told that Shion is totally Mion's sister, guys, and you've just never seen them in the same room? Or what?
どうしたのかな。
Because this isn't a matter that directly involves Shion that I think he's about to get them involved in. Like, that's kind of unavoidable.
何があったんだろう。太郎。
実はミオンの妹のシオンがこの店でバイト中なんだ。
ああ、話に聞いてたみーちゃんの妹さんだね。
Yeah.
ひょっとしてあれかな。あれかな。
Yeah, I don't think she really believes that for a second, but you know.
似てるね、似てるね。似てるも何も髪を下ろしただけの本人ではありませんの？
That obvious? I didn't know what to say.
ケイチがシオンだと言うから、
Yeah.
シオンなのですよ。
Thanks, Rika.
いくら双子だって、あんなにうり二つになるもんなんですの？
Yeah, totally.
一卵性双生児って言ってね、本当にそっくりの双子ってこともあるんだって。
Guys, that's totally what it is. Could you imagine if Mion actually just waltzed in? Rena gave the most plausible explanation, so everybody else was convinced.
納得してもらえたかな。それで本題だ。
I recounted everything that had just happened. How Shion was targeted, how she was antagonized by the customers, and the humiliation that was forced upon her. Also how incredibly pathetic I was. I included everything without trying to hide it. Yeah, I got rocked like 5 times.
それはひどいね。しーちゃんかわいそう。しかし、それを助けられないなんて。
Hey man, we tried.
みっともないにも程がありますわよ。
Okay, that disrespect is unnecessary. We tried.
それについては返す言葉がない。
さとこちゃん、負けを認めて助けを求めるのって
That's
と
what
っ
I'm
ても
saying.
難しいことなの。
That is not an easy thing to do.
ケイチ君は変なプライドなんかよりしーちゃんを助けることを選んだんだよ。
You'd be lauded for that.
情けないですこと。
I mean, it is a little pathetic, but Rena's follow-up stung a bit. But I could only be thankful that she understood. Sadako was calling me all sorts of names. There were no malign intentions behind her words.
で、僕たちは何をするですか？
Beat the brakes off of that kid. Her voice was monotone, but there was a hint of resolve in her words. I replied to Rika-chan's suggestive silence in kind with my own quiet resolve.
そんなところだと思ってましたわ。
Playing challenging to a board game?
圭一さん一人には少々荷が重すぎますもの。
じゃあ助けてくれるのか？
当然だよ、圭一くん。
Boy, they stirring up trouble in Angel Mort.
私たちは誰がいじめられても助けに行くよ。
Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. They're gonna get all of Hinamizawa in this building. All of Hinamizawa is gonna look at him with those creepy eyes. Bro, I'm just saying, if I'm just sitting at a restaurant, I don't care what I've done, what mental state I am in. If I did something like that fat dude, right? I don't care what happens. Rena looks at me with those eyes, I'm gone, bro. Like, if she busts out the creepy eyes, I'm Audi 3000. Like, at the speed of light. No questions asked. Like, good lord. That's all they really need to do, I'm just saying. I remembered when I was cornered by those thugs, what Shion had said about the strong feeling of solidarity in Hinamizawa really began to hit home. Over, Keiichi Maibara. Now was not the time to get choked up with tears of gratitude. Now is the time to fight.
すまん、恩に切る。
一人で頑張ったけど、歯が立たなくてかわいそです。
Yeah. Rika-chan gently pat my head for me. He needed that, man. But there was no mindless pity in the palm of that hand. It was overflowing with a strong, dependable feeling of leave the rest to us. Did they come to throw hands?
もろもろの都合により、ミオンは参戦できないので、臨時に俺が指揮を取る。
Due to various circumstances, like her being in the building working.
作戦内容は、シオンの護衛と敵勢力の殲滅。
敵って誰かな？いっぱいいるのかな？
Pretty much everybody that
現
isn't
時刻以
us.
降、シオンにちょっかいを出そうとする全個人、交戦規定はなし。報酬は今食ったデザート。質問はあるか？
Everybody had already entered club mode, their eyes peering at the riffraff, clambering around inside the restaurant like predators stalking their prey from the darkness. Oh, why was that so difficult for me to read? Rika-chan held up her
なん
hand.
だい、リカちゃん。
手加減は必要ですか？
No.
不要に決まってますわ。ミオさんの妹に狼藉を働く輩に手加減なんか不要ですの。いいんですね、ケイチ。
Beat the brakes off of them. Rika-chan was serious. Boy, she's gonna do something diabolical. I already know. Let me catch somebody messing with Shion while Rika's around. She's probably gonna play up that childlike innocence, lure them in, because they probably are all obsessed with lollies, like, let's be real. And then, bam, mean uppercut. Probably not an uppercut, but probably would use the fact that she's a kid to her advantage. She was really ready to pretty much murder someone. Hey, don't say that. Don't say that in Higurashi, bro. You don't understand how right you are, and that's what's concerning. She probably is. I'm counting on you, Rika-chan. Man, that...
全
Okay.
責任は俺、前原圭一が取る。蹴散らしてやれ。
よーし、レナも頑張るぞ。
すまん、よろしく頼む。
ケイチさん、そんなに力まなくても大丈夫ですのよ。
That evil smile. I already know she has a vile trap planned.
まあご覧遊ばせ。ケイチさんがそのパフェを食べ終わる頃にはお掃除は終わってましたよ。ではみんな頑張りましょうですよ。ファイトオーです。
Let's go for it. Thus, the most powerful warband the world had ever known, trained by Mion, began to move. I was the oldest, the only boy, and behaved like a leader, but when you consider our club activities, I was by far the most junior member. Individually, everyone besides me had terrifying combat capabilities. You don't know how right you are. You don't know how right you are, bro. All of them combined their strengths to protect Shion. All you really need is Rena, let's be real. Rena could slump anyone in this building, bro. Honestly, you don't even have to do anything special. Just show Rena, like, Shion's uniform. Being like, that's pretty cute, isn't it? Right? If somebody messes with that, wow. Slumped. I'm talking Mike Tyson type punch. Like, it's over. I couldn't even imagine. I was probably about to witness something terrible and awe-inspiring. Something that's
園崎さん、7番テーブルにデラックスパフェを5つお願いします。
and something that's about to get, you're about to witness something that's about to get you banned from this restaurant.
あ、はい。
Shion carried the order to the tables. For Shion to carry all 5 parfaits without wobbling took so much effort that she didn't have breathing room to pay attention to her feet.
くっくっく、どうしよう、また来たでござるよ。
今度はミーのおズボンにぶっかけさせて、一層念入りにふきふきしてもらうにより。
It was the same wipey-wipey scheme that occurred just a short time earlier. This time, another one of them was trying it out for himself. The very depravity of these men was itself a full-out attack.
ケイチよりレナへ5、6番テーブル付近で待ち伏せだ。レナ、聞こえてるか？
Do you copy?
お店の制服かい。
Oh, yep. Let's go. See,
お持ち帰り。
I told you that's all you needed. Shion, her bottom swaying while carrying the parfaits, was being chased by an equally swaying Reina. Why did I need to know her bottom was swinging? Or swaying? Bro, what? She was supposed to be escorting Shion, but Rena was instead transfixed by the back of her uniform. Rena! From a normal person's point of view, it's probably like having a fox guard a hen house. But when it comes to Rena, things are different. Boy, she catches one leg, 1 foot come out. That looks like it's about to trip her. She's about to slide in and break that dude's leg. I honestly don't think that's an exaggeration.
怪異状態。シンクロ率 120%。
Cute mode is overpowered,
勝った
bro.
な。
あの状態のレナさんには地球上のどんな物理法則も通用しませんわ。
No, they really don't. Shion's legs, unsteady and defenseless, being targeted by those sleaze
今で
bags.
ござるよ。
世界の輝ける明星にして偉大なる総統閣下万歳。
There is absolutely no way. Okay, I think that's a little much. Talking about the Fuhrer and shining Lucifer? What? Okay, that's gotta be too far. That's gotta be too far, bro. What? That's gotta be too much. Ain't no way they actually wrote that. Whatever. A leg snaked out to trip Shion's defenseless feet. Egads. Egads? 3 of them at once. Dang! Thap, thap, thap. It happened in an instant. The 3 fools writhed in pain as their legs bent at unnatural angles. Bro, I told you she was gonna break their legs. I thought she was gonna slide into it or something, but Rena's just different.
これは何事でござるか。
Rena teetered into view and gave them a warning?
はう、おいたはダメなんだよ。目だよ、目。レナがお持ち帰りするから、目。
Yeah, okay. They've met their match.
この小娘、奇妙な技を。
The human scum clutched their bruised ankles as they passed out.
さすがはレナさん。いつ見ても恐ろしいキレですわね。
Yeah,
ああ、絶対的なガードだ。
unstoppable
半
force.
径2メートル以内で行われるシオンへのあらゆる攻撃をレナは完全なカウンターで粉砕する。
Yeah, there's no chance. As Shion was making her rounds to the restaurant, there were people here and there collapsing with welts on their legs or hands.
はう、レナよりケイチ君へ。もうしーちゃんにちょっかい出す人はいないよ。
Yeah, I believe it.
だからもうお持ち帰り。
No, no.
ケイチよりレナへご苦労だった。引き続き護衛を続けてくれ。それからお持ち帰りは不可。繰り返す。お持ち帰りは不可。
じゃあ見てるだけだよ、見てるだけ。はう。
This is... Cute mode is the weirdest thing, but it's also the greatest thing. I guess just looking is fine. That wouldn't prevent her from guarding Shion, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, thanks to this I knew who had tried to mess with Shion. Anybody who was clutching at their arm or leg while they were writhing in agony was basically branded by their bruises.
現時刻をもって敵勢力識別を完了。次のフェーズへ移行する。ケイチよりサトコへ。そっちはどうなってる？
さとこですわよ。
Why are they talking like they're on a radio or something?
どうなってるとはひどい言い方でございますわね。 ケイチさん、私を誰だと思っておいでですの？
You said, who do you think I am? Come on. Satoko was in the kitchen. In the kitchen? Oh, man. She had spread open a sketch to the restaurant on the counter, replete with order chits and their destinations. It was now sorting through the freshly made desserts. Oh, no, bro.
ちょっと、さっきから何をしてるの？まあまあ、園崎さん、いいから彼女に任せておいて。
Oh my god. I love the fact that the restaurant is just cool with it, bro. The Empire Strikes Back, bro. I'm glad, though. I think in reality... I don't know. I feel like in reality, these places should be kicking out creeps like that. But honestly, would they? Like, they're paying customers, and like, that's kind of their base, is the weirdos, you know? And I would hope that if they get too handsy, they'd kick them out, but there's a chance they wouldn't. But I was gonna say, I think in reality, most of them wouldn't let you, like, you know, beat the brakes off of people who are messing with, just, like, they wouldn't let you beat the brakes off of their customers, like, no matter the reason, really. You know? But it's really funny, so I'm just gonna accept it.
それよりもこのオーダー、全部一度に行くからお願いね。
The veteran waitress was briskly directing her juniors as the trays went out one after another. Boy, they're spiked with laxatives or something, I already know. All the desserts that had passed through Satoko's hands were delivered at once.
かわいいデザートがいっぱい来たよ。
分かってるだろうが、手をつけるなよ。自分の身が大事なら。
Yeah.
わかってるけど。
You can have plenty later, relax. Certainly, they were all incredibly cute-looking desserts. They were all works of art that you can enjoy before even taking your first bite. However, since Satoko had meddled with them, they were nothing more than an unpredictable danger. Blissfully ignorant of the fact of that fact were the men now stuffing their faces. Almost right away, they realized that something was wrong.
サトコ、何を混ぜた？塩やタバスコってわけじゃないだろう。
あら、ケイチさんが言ったんですのよ。手加減無用って。
No mercy.
私、こう見えても叩くときは徹底的に叩く性分でございますの。
Oh god, what was it? As she said that, she twirled a dubious file in her fingers before putting it away smartly into her pouch.
サトコより理解。お客様が行きますわよ。エスコートお願いしますわ。
Oh god.
僕にお任せなのです。
Come to think of it, I didn't see Rika-chan anywhere. Where could she be lurking? Wait, do they actually have radios? Clatter, clatter. Several men stood up suddenly from their seats, surveying the restaurant for something. Boy, it's a bathroom. That restless fidgeting. And that look of relief when they found the single placard hanging from the ceiling. Written on that placard was the word, restroom. Yeah, I know. They began a mad rush in that direction. It wasn't just one or two people. All the people that were branded as the enemy were standing up from their seats while clutching at their stomachs.
さすがにがっつきすぎたでござるよ。
Yeah.
お手洗いはどこでござるか？
僕もニャリーよ。オープンでなくクローズドの方でござる。
Yep.
ようリプレイ外しニャリー。
Boy, yeah, you're all done.
おトイレはどこにゃ？見つけたにゃ。緊急発進スクランブルにょ。
You're in for it now. I felt dirty just thinking about what Satoko probably did to their desserts. The problem was how to follow this up. I was intrigued, so I followed the rush of men to the washroom. The narrow hallway connecting to the restroom was crammed with about 10 men.
これはなんとしたことでござるか。
Is Rika in there? As I peered over to see what was happening, whoa! It seemed that the toilet was clogged and backflowing, unleashing a loud gurgling sound and a terrible stench. Golly, somebody did something vile. There was no way to use it in this state. Damn that Satoko. What a frightening display of power! No, this wasn't Satoko's doing. It was divine punishment. Yeah, they were just unlucky. I'll just apologetically ask one of the employees here to clean it up.
これでは尿が出せぬでござる。
どうしたものにゃりんか？毎同士。
It was a brilliant combination of traps, but it would be better if there were one more to push to the kicker. Seeing as it was Satoko, she wouldn't have overlooked that. Absolutely not.
こうなっては最後の手段にゃ。
Faced with a moral dilemma, the man only had one other option: women's restroom.
さすがに女子トイレはまずいでござらんか。
Especially when there's a little kid in there.
今日のお客さんに女子はいないにゃりん。コロンブスの卵でにゃりん。はあはあ、背に腹は変えられぬ。
You all need help. But what a brazen bunch they are. The men, sweat now pouring from their brows, in a mad rush to the girls' room without any hesitation.
Me?
Me? There was a girl there. It was Rika-chan. The men stood there, frozen in various complicated poses indicating their surprise. Rika-chan also seemed dumbfounded by the sudden turn of events, but the look on her face was strangely perfect. This was all part of the plan as well. You sly dog, Rika-chan. I should never underestimate you.
これはでござるな。まだ待て。
Me?
男子便所がちょっとデンジャラスにゃので、ちょっとおトイレをお借りしたかっただけなのにゃ。にゃ。
Nope.
Me?
でもやっぱりいけないことでござるよな。どうし諸君。
Not a single real word. Just by having a girl stand there in the restroom, I never knew it could put up such an overwhelming barrier. There was no way anybody could be brave enough to lift Rika-chan out of the way to try and do their business. This was the most they could do after all. If it were a man in full club mode, for example, someone like me, it would plow through Rika-chan without a second thought. Now what are you gonna do, you fat asses? The price for tormenting Shion still hasn't been paid.
お困りなら僕が助けてあげてもいいのです。
Bro, what?
片付けどうござる。してその方法は。
お外のトイレを使えばいいのです。
Outside?
ご案内しますですよ。
それは助かるにゃりん。さあ、このままじゃ集団で不根腕状態にゃりん。
No! Don't say that! Rika-chan, with a pleasant smile on her face, guided them with a casual stride in her step. In this race against time, her slow pace was sadistic torture.
マドマーゼル、そのトイレはここから遠いでご。
すぐに着きますです。
Obeying Rika-chan's directions, they were about to leave the restaurant.
ケイチ君、締めだよ。ビシッと言ってね。
おうよ、任せておけ。
I spread my arms out and blocked them as they tried to leave the restaurant.
何の真似でござるか。このデフコン1の非常時に。
I'm still not done from earlier.
悪人ども、この扉から一歩外へ出ることが
それはどういう意味にゃ。
But you won't be allowed back in.
ほら、チケットに書いてあるよ。途中退店無効って。
Oof.
どこのおトイレに行くのも自由でございますがね。その扉を一歩でも外へ出たなら二度と戻れませんのよ。
Boom.
覚えてろ。
そんな怖いこと言う人たちを案内したくないのです。
Everybody panicked as Rika-chan began to turn back. They could only figuratively and literally fall in line. All the waitresses also lined up to see them off.
本日はご来店
愛しゃるリターン。
Clang, clang. The bell rang playfully as the door shut behind them.
つまないですわね。爆笑の極みでしたよ。
Poor Rika. They might just let her back in, though.
やったね。
Ren and Satoko clapped their hands together.
俺一人じゃ歯が立たねえ連中もメンバー総登場ならまさに一網打尽だな。
That wasn't even fair.
この程度の相手なら私たちなら一人でもお相手できましたよ。
Just not physically, maybe.
ケイチさんも少しは腕をお磨き遊ばせ。
Sheesh. I was loath to admit it, but Satoko was right. Damn it. One day I'll be strong enough to be worthy to stand alongside them.
でもみーちゃんの妹さんを守れて本当に良かったね。 うこれでいたずらする悪い人たちは一人もいなくなったよ。
I wouldn't call those pranks, I'd call it sexual assault. But, you know, harassment, is that an assault? I don't know. Who cares? Who cares about the qualifier? The problem is the first word, you know? Not the second one. Because no matter what that second word is, it's bad. I wouldn't downgrade that to prank.
素敵な友人に恵まれたわね、園崎さん。
The veteran waitress was also smiling. After the herd was sent packing, it had calmed down completely inside the restaurant. Shion was flustered as she glanced between us and the now empty seats.
私のために
Yep.
その
Shion's expression was somewhere between happy and guilt-ridden. Her face had turned slightly red as she ran into the kitchen.
わあ、しーちゃんもかわいい。双子なんだね。はう。
Given Shion's personality, there's no way she'd thank us directly. We might have been a bit excessive in our means, but I'm really glad we were able to save her.
分かってると思いますけど、園崎さん、とても感謝してますよ。
Yeah.
私もホールを代表して感謝いたします。
Yeah, I was gonna say, they played along, man. They get a round of applause. The applause quickly spread throughout the entire restaurant. Not only other waitresses, but also the other customers that were genuinely there to enjoy the desserts. Everyone was lauding our efforts. Yes, sir. Deserved. When we had mostly finished eating and were filling out the survey, Rika-chan made her return. Oh, what? So she got the executive pass back in? Executive decision?
おお、お疲れ。守備は上々か？ずいぶん遅かったな。
ごめんなさいなのです。帰りに迷子になってしまって大変だったのです。
Poor Rika.
リカちゃんは変な道を通ることが多いからね。よく迷子になるんだよ。
How did she get lost just guiding people to a nearby toilet?
人間誰にも得て増えてがありましたよ。
Fair.
リカにはそんなの負けないような長所がたくさんありますわ。
Hey, you're right, but
それもそうだな。さっきの女子トイレのあの表情、役者だったな。
あの時の圭一はひどいのです。自分が彼らの立場だったら僕を弾き飛ばして女子トイレに飛び込むとか考えていたのです。
he did think that. Oh no. He really did think that.
また俺、考えが顔に出てたのか。
Yep, now Brenna's about to rock you, bro.
圭一くん。
I really don't think that's equivalent, but you know, it was a bit messed up.
あ、いや、その
Yeah, you're about to get slumped. I'm already knowing. You're done. I could laugh about it then, but a few days later, a newspaper headline read, 10 unidentified men were taken into custody in Hideyama. The men claimed they had traveled from Shishibone City by foot to find a toilet, but the spot they were taken into custody was XX kilometers away from Shishibone. When I read that article, I realized how terrifying Rika-chan really was. Oh god. How far away did she make them walk?
さてと、ごちそうさまなのでした。
Yeah, no problem.
今日は呼んでもらえて嬉しかったのです。あら、もう帰りますの？もうちょっとゆっくりしても。
You might need to work for the Watanagashi.
タンスのお片付けの途中だったのですよ。あのままではお布団が敷けないのです。
Fair enough.
ああ、それもそうですわね。
Oops. Looks like I called her at a bad time.
うん。
Everybody got a dip?
レナが電話した時はお部屋の片付け中だったんだよ。でも駆けつけてくれたんだよね。
Rika's an MVP. I feel like she's underappreciated.
まあ、非常時だから仕方ありませんわ。
It ended up being an emergency,
それに
alright.
甘いものをいっぱいいっぱい食べさせてもらいましたですから、とても喜んでいますよ。
I'd say it was worth it, but
今日はありがとな。急に呼び出しちゃって。
シオンによろしくとお伝えなのです。 で
Will
は
do.
失礼しますわ。
Alright, everybody gonna dip
レ
then?
ナさんはどうぞごゆっくり。そうするね。
Oh, no, Rena's staying, okay. Okay, this is possibly worst case scenario. This is possibly worse than everybody being here. To be honest. I don't know. I feel like Rena's gonna immediately identify that this is Mion and things might get, they might get confrontational later. I don't know. Or maybe she just realizes it's, I mean, it doesn't matter. As long as Rena's there, it doesn't matter who else is there. But, like, she could realize it if she was gonna address it later. But, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this means Shion is not hanging out with us later, you know? Rika and Satoko, in a good mood, horsed around with each other as they left. Squad, man. They'll rile up some trouble, but, you know, they're the MVPs. While Ren and I were having a discussion about the desserts we just ate, Shion arrived with some coffee.
あら、ちっちゃい二人は帰っちゃいましたか？
Hearing them called the little ones was so strange, I inadvertently burst out laughing.
なんか片付けの途中だったとかで帰っちゃったよ。
Shion had brought enough coffee for 4 people.
先輩に話を聞きました。なんだか私のためにいろいろご迷惑をかけてしまったみたいで。
Oh yeah, they did.
全然迷惑じゃないよ。他ならぬしーちゃんのピンチだしね。あ、いいよねしーちゃんで。みーちゃんとお揃いで可愛いかなって。
True.
あ、まあどうぞご自由に。
Shion seemed a bit hesitant when Rena started talking to her. Rena's pretty sharp about some things, so Shion was probably worried that Rena would find out she was Mion after talking like this. Yeah, I'd be surprised if she doesn't already know. Shion said she'd have work soon and hurried off back to the kitchen, leaving behind coffee for just the two of us.
レナにそっけなかった。慣れ慣れしい子だと思われちゃったかな。ふう。
照れてるだけだよ。
Yeah.
でも本当にそっくりだね。
Man, it's crazy how similar they look, huh?
双子ってよりももう一人のみーちゃんみたいな感じ。
Yeah. Come on, like, she totally just knows, right?
外見は似てるけど、雰囲気っていうか、中身は全然違うだろ。そういう双子も面白いと思うけどな。
ケイチ君はそう思う？中身もそっくりだと思うよ。
She really knows. Oh, she's driving the point home. That it's Mion. It somehow became silent. Rena was just staring at the pattern the milk made on the surface of her coffee without saying a word. For somebody like me who can never stop talking, it was a rather uncomfortable moment. Rena's off-put mannerism seemed to imply I said something I shouldn't have. That unpleasantness carried on for a little while. Or even if she's not directly implying that it's Mion, I think she's implying that we're not looking at Mion the way we should be. You know, we're not seeing all of the sides to her that there really are. We kind of already had this conversation that Mion isn't exactly who she appears on the surface, right? She does have that girlish side. We literally had this conversation with Rena, like just last episode, I think.
レナさ、今日言ってたろ。ミオンが傷つけられたなんて話。
そんな話したかな。
だからとぼけるなよ。確かに言ったよ。今日の学校からの帰り道で。
Rena answered by laughing while continuing to play dumb, questioning if she had said that. As thick-headed as I was, I had a faint realization. Rena wanted to say that I was the one who hurt Mion. Yep. I mean, it wasn't exactly some twist. Like, I'd kind of picked up on this, but... And just the words he was saying just now, is it was basically that line of thinking is exactly why he had hurt Rena. But when? Me?
もし仮にそういうことがあったとしても、それは俺には悪意はなかったんだよ。
I continued the conversation, but left out the assumption that I had hurt Mion.
うん、きっとそうだと思う。 ケイチ君に悪気はなかったと思うな。
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that, for sure. Rena replied, also leaving out the assumption that I had hurt Mion. But that confirmed it. I don't know how it happened, but it seemed that I had hurt Mion. And Rena was upset with me due to the fact that I hadn't realized it.
誤解しないでほしいんだけど、別にレナは怒ってるわけじゃないよ。
Seeing right through what I was thinking, Rena said that as she smiled even more gently than usual.
ただなんていうのかな。
Be better.
難しいなって。
俺に落ち度があるなら、はっきりそうだと言ってくれないか。俺は自分でも呆れるほど鈍感なんだ。
Funny thing is, she basically did try to tell you, like, to your face.
謝るべきことがあるなら、少しでも早くそれに気づいて謝罪したいと思ってる。
別にケイチ君に落ち度なんかなかったと思うよ。考えようによってはずるいのはみーちゃんの方なのかもしれないし。
There, I guess. But
ずるいのが女の子だって言い直るのもまたずるい気がするし。
that is also fair. What Rena said was draped in mystery. Unfortunately, I had no idea what she meant. The only thing I got out of it was that I had said or done something to inadvertently hurt Mion.
頼むよ、レナ。ミオンは俺の最高の仲間の一人だ。
This is one of those things where you have to look inside yourself and figure out what it is. What have you done that could have hurt her? I know it's kind of difficult to figure that out. I'm not saying I'd be able to figure that out, right? But I don't know. This might be one of those situations where she's like, I'm not gonna directly tell you. You gotta figure it out yourself.
遺恨を残してなんか付き合いたくない。だから教えてくれよ。俺は何を傷つけてしまったんだ。
ダメだよ。
Yeah.
こういうのは自分で気づかなきゃ。
That's literally what I just said. Rena was smiling like she always did, but spoke bluntly. The fact that she had the strength of will surprised me for a moment.
それに気づけないからこうして頼んでるんだろ。
Gotta figure it out. My tone had unintentionally become harsh. Rena was also surprised for a moment, but quickly returned to her flat demeanor.
じゃあヒントだけならいいかな。特別なんだよ。
すまん、頼む。ちゃんと考えるから。
Oh. Rena looked around the restaurant, searching for Shion. Shion was working enthusiastically, but without confidence as usual.
しーちゃん、髪の毛を上げて結んだらみーちゃんと見分けつかなくなるんだろうね。
Right.
うん、そうだな。
じゃあさ、みーちゃんが髪をほどいたらやっぱりしーちゃんと見分けがつかなくなるのかな。
Yeah, so it's exactly what I thought it was. The fact that... Hmm.
多分な。でもそれとこれと何の関係があるんだよ。
They're the same.
もしもだよ、双子の妹なんて話は嘘で、あれは妹のふりをしてるみーちゃんだったらどう思う？
Rena was sharper than her daily behavior belied. I was hesitant in verbally affirming that, but it was the right answer.
質問に質問で返すようで悪いけどさ、レナの言う通り、ミオンがシオンのふりをしていたとして、それは何のためだよ。
Change your perception. After maintaining the silence for a while, Rena glanced at the clock.
そこを考えてほしいな。
Yeah.
ヒントにしては多すぎかも。はあ、
Yeah, pretty much. If you hadn't picked up on it by now, you definitely should be picking up on it then. I mean, she's basically saying, so if, you know, the hair being, tied up, right, or let down is the only difference, then, like, why? Why does she do it? Why does she go out of her way to look and sort of act a little different than normal? Right? Because that's what she wants. That's what she wants Keishi to see her as, right? That's what it is. And it's kind of what I've been saying for a while now. I don't think I need to repeat myself anymore at this point, but it's just a matter of when Keiichi realizes that. After thanking me for the dessert, Rena stood up from her seat.
ごめんね。頼まれてるお買い物があるからそろそろ帰るね。
All right. See you later, Rena. Maybe Rena being here was the best case scenario, actually. Maybe she'll finally get Keiichi to realize what's going on.
しーちゃんには挨拶もせずに先に帰っちゃってごめんって伝えておいてもらえるかな。
ああ、伝えておく。
ごめんね。
え？
レナって怒りんぼなの。怒ってごめんね。ケイチくんだけが悪いわけでもないのに。
Rena was harsh in her apology, but I was the one who really should have apologized.
み
Yeah,
ーちゃん
probably.
だってもうそんなに気にしてないことだと思うの。でもね、同じ女の子としてはケイチくんに自分で気づいて自分で謝りに来てほしいなって夢を見ちゃうの。
Alan was not moving, so I didn't get to see it.
みーちゃんだってもうそんなに気にしてないことだと思うの。だからなかったことにして忘れちゃってもいいと思うんだけど。
I feel like you probably should not forget that. Yeah, I feel like he should think about it, realize what happened, and apologize, but... Switching to cute mode only at the end, she disappeared in the direction of the register. Time for some introspection, I guess. While I was staring into space, somebody suddenly tapped me on the shoulder.
お待たせしました。やっと終わりました。
It was Shion, who had changed into her street clothes. She flashed a smile while greeting
今
me.
日は本当にありがとな。どれもすごい美味しかった。みんなも喜んでたよ。
いえいえ、そんな。でも、喜んでもらえて嬉しかったです。
Yeah, they had their fun,
あ
alright.
れ？さっきの女の人も帰っちゃったんですか？
Yep, Rena hit the big
買い
dipski.
物があるって言って帰ったよ。先に帰って申し訳ないって伝えておいてくれって。
そうですか。じゃあ、私たちも表に行きません？たとえオフでもバイト先は緊張しちゃいますから。
We ended up strolling around without any destination in particular. I'd been sitting the entire time, so I was in need of a breath of fresh air. Yeah, no kidding. Eventually your legs gotta move. When we left, the sky had already become draped in a veil of darkness.
はあ、なんだか暗くなってきちゃいましたね。もっと早めに終わらせてもらえる約束だったのに。
Shion seemed upset that there wasn't much time left.
でもいいかな。ちょっとでもこうしてのんびりお話できる時間が取れたから。
Saying that, Shion set out for the tree-lined boulevard behind the station. The front of the station was slowly becoming crowded with businessmen heading home.
さて、自己紹介からしようかな。初対面はいきなりお姉と間違えられるという衝撃的な出会いだけで、互いに挨拶もしてないですからね。
Right. I can only smile and laugh wryly.
私、園崎シオンと申します。お姉と似てるのは外見だけなんですよ。
Right. I don't know that I'd say that, but...
お姉は大雑把で暑苦しい人なんだけど、私は几帳面だけど涼しい人なんです。
It's so obvious. This is her, like... This is Mion, like... Trying to... I guess look at the things that make Keiichi, like... see her the way that he does, and, like, not be that anymore, and suddenly be that ideal girl, right? I remember what Rena and I had been talking about earlier. I said that they looked the same, but their personalities were different, while Rena said they were both the same. I don't know what tipped her off. Rena figured out that Shion was Mion. What do you mean, wait, you don't know what tipped her off? It takes one look at her to realize. What? Also, related to that, she said that I had hurt Mion. Rena had given only one hint. That was, why is Mion pretending to be Shion?
シオンは俺のことミオンからなんて聞いてるんだ？
お姉はケイちゃんのことお気に入りみたいですから。
Yeah, that is probably putting it lightly.
饒舌にいろいろと喋ってくれますよ。
Yeah.
部活の話とか、やられたとかやり返したとか、そんな男の子みたいな話ばかりです。
Yeah.
本当に仲がいいんですね。
Yeah, they sure do, huh? Boyish kind of stories, huh? Come to think of it, I think there was something Shion told me before. Kei-chan, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? That's the issue. Was that what happened that hurt Mion? Mion herself said that she'd wish she'd been born a boy, and that being a girl didn't suit her. She said a lot of things to that effect, didn't she?
ケイちゃん、さっきからなんだか楽しくなさそうですけど。
That boy is lost in thought.
あ、いや、そんなことないよ。
隠し事が下手なくせに嘘つこうとするんですよね。
I wonder who said that to us.
だから憎めないんですけど。
Saying that, she lightly chopped my forehead. Even though Shion was enjoying herself, I was still trying to figure out how I had hurt Mion. I was having a hard time figuring out the riddle that Rena had left me with.
ほら、あれ、綺麗だと思いません？男の子でも綺麗に感じます？
へえ、綺麗だな。
Shion was having fun window shopping, dragging me by all sorts of stores I would normally never enter. It wasn't like she was begging me to buy her anything. I wasn't getting bored either. It was just something to talk about as we walked around. In an easygoing way, we browsed through numerous stores. We discussed all sorts of topics I knew nothing about. I didn't lose interest. I had the feeling she was good at conversation.
ケイちゃんってこういうの初めてですか？
Yep.
ああ、初めてだよ。こんな小物のお店なんか、こうして連れてきてもらわなかったら一生入らなかったな。
そういうのじゃなくて、こういう感じの。
She means like a date. What? I looked back when Shion suddenly linked her arm with mine. Okay, she's making a move.
そんなに驚かなくてもいいじゃないですか。女の子と腕を組むくらい、そんなに恥ずかしいことなんですか？
Ooh. Wait. Didn't he literally do this with... Am I crazy? Didn't he literally do this with Mion at some point and it didn't even bother him? I might be crazy. I really feel like this happened. I really feel like this happened. And if it did, I'm gonna assume it didn't bother him that much. Shion's expression was a little bit miffed, but suggestive at the same time.
別に恥ずかしくなんかねえよ。
Cab.
腕が欲しけりゃ1本でも2本でもくれてやるよ。
I can spare one or two.
ほら。
You spare two.
ケイちゃんって本当に退屈しない人ですね。
Yeah. Why is her smug look one of the greatest sprites I've ever seen? I don't know why it's so funny to me.
お姉のお気に入りってのもよくわかります。
Yeah, I bet you do, huh?
いらねえなら引っ込めるぞ腕。
Taking it back.
そんな。喜んで拝借いたしますわ。
Laughing in good spirits, she unlocked her arm with mine. My heart skipped a beat.
反応を楽しみたいんで意地悪に質問しますけど、ケイちゃん、女の子と腕組んだことあります？林間学校のキャンプファイヤーでってのはなしでです。
That little devil! He was asking that question knowing full well what the answer would be.
林間学校を封じられると辛いな。
そうだと思いました。
そのいたずらっぽい笑い方、本当にミオンと同じだな。
Yeah.
お前、本当にシオンなんだろうな。ミオンがシオンだって嘘をついてるんじゃないのか？
お姉がシオンのふりをしてるかもしれないって。
さっきまでは双子だと思ってたが、悪ふざけの仕方がミオンとそっくりすぎるからな。
Yeah, it is.
口ではそんなこと言ってますけど、ケイちゃんはちゃんと私とお姉を区別してますよ。
区別ってなんだよ。
お姉がこうやって腕を取ってきたら、ケイちゃんドキドキしますか？
Ooh. Driving into the heart of it. No, he wouldn't.
する。関節技でもかけられるんじゃないかと思ってビクビクする。
And that's not what she means. Like that's the difference. That's the problem. That's the problem. She's laughing it off, but the Mion inside of her, like, is taking that to heart. Shion laughed so hard she had to hold on to her sides.
おいおい、そんなにおかしいことかよ。肩腹を押さえて涙溜めるくらいに。
いえ、お姉ってしょうがないなって思ったんです。年頃の男の子と腕を組んで心臓を高鳴らすこともできないなんて。
And golly, Shion. Down bad. That's it. Oh! What did I just press? Okay, webcam. It's fine. I accidentally kicked the cord. Down bad. But I mean, the same type of joke as Mion. Crazy how that happens, huh?
本当に女の子失格ですよね。
You see, that's that self-hatred that I was kind of talking about, right? That's exactly what she's thinking. Those are her exact thoughts, right? Those are Mion's thoughts. I remembered once again that I'd heard someone say that before.
お姉は男の子に生まれた方が良かったんじゃないかなって思うことありますよ。
Yeah. I wonder who said that.
そしたら私も惚れてるかもな。なんちゃって。
ミオンも男の子に生まれたかったなんて言ってたな。
お姉は女の子がしたいのか男の子がしたいのか。
Yeah.
まあ不吉祥な生き方のツケですからね。放っておいてあげてください。
And it's gotten to the point where she's decided to kind of live that out in two different ways, you know? Two different lives.
さっきから実の姉に随分な言い方だな。
私ミオンのどことなく甘えたところ好きじゃないんです。
The way that Shion talked somehow sounded cold.
シオンってミオンとあんまり仲良くないのか？
まあそこそこは仲良くやってます。でも姉妹として許せないなってところはいろいろありますよ。あれ見てください。可愛いと思いません？
Sounds like she's changing the topic if you ask me. I turned around to look at where Shion was pointing. What was there was the familiar display window of a toy shop. Crazy, this is where this all started if you ask me. Where it all really started, at least. The same shop that was the stage for the incident that occurred during last Sunday's club activities. What Shion was pointing at was a display with a plethora of adorable dolls that looked like the sort girls would like.
女の子ってどうしてこういうのが好きなのかな？
She's not so subtly pointing you to the cause of all this.
だって可愛いじゃないですか。ケイちゃんは可愛いって思いませんか？
俺は男だから特にそういうのは感じないよ。
That's a little rude. I mean, I don't really get that vibe from that kind of thing. There are men who do, but I know what he means. I guess, like, you know, it's not something that really interests me. And then the problem is that same day he assumed that meant it wouldn't interest Mion, right? And that's why she's pointing it out.
まあまあ、ケイちゃんはこの中で一番可愛いのはどれだと思います？
Shion, pulling on my arm, motioned to the row of dolls. They were lined up like they were close sisters taking a commemorative photo. A few of them seemed strangely familiar.
こっち側に並んでる4つは見覚えがあるな。
やっぱり有名なんですね。ケイちゃんでも知ってるくらいだから。
Shion sounded impressed.
最近イギリスから入ってきたばかりの新作なんですよ。
Probably before they just got gifted.
この辺ではまだ売ってますけど、都市部の方じゃ品切れ状態で安さがポイントのはずなのに変に高騰しちゃってるそうですよ。
女の子っていい年になってもこういうのが好きなんだな。
Sure, why wouldn't they?
人にもよるでしょうけど、人形とかぬいぐるみとかを嫌いな女の子ってそんなにいないと思いますよ。
Yeah.
あの男女のお姉ですら可愛いって言ってましたから。
Yeah, really driving to the heart of it now. She's low-key taking shots at Keichin. He doesn't even realize it.
へえ、ミオンも可愛いっていうのか。そりゃすごいことだな。
That's right. I just remembered. The store owner gave this one to us after Sunday's event. Except for Mion, who was a relative. Everybody had gotten something.
やっぱりあれが一番ですよ
Is it
ね。
gonna be the exact one that he ended up not giving to Mion?
ドレスのふわふわな感じが本当に。
I think so.
それだ。この店のマスターに俺がもらったやつだ。
らしいですね。
Shion replied softly, but clearly.
吉郎おじさんが日曜日のイベントを盛り上げてくれたお礼にって、お姉が連れてきた友達4人に配ったんだそうです。ドレスの人形はケイちゃんがもらったんですね。
And he gave his away. Except not to the one person who didn't have one. You know? Because he was like, oh, she wouldn't like these. You know? Because he wasn't... I think he explicitly was like, yeah, I mean... Come on, Mion's like, not really a girl, she wouldn't like these. Right? And gave it to Rena.
どうでしたか？とっても可愛かったでしょ？
As a man, there's no way I'd think it was cute.
じゃあその人形どうしちゃったんですか？
持っててもしょうがないからあげちゃったよ。
Why didn't you give it to Mion? To who? As Shion laughed, I could hear an audible click run through my head, like the piece of a jigsaw puzzle snapping into place. Yep, I knew we'd flash back to this.
今日はみんな本当にありがとう。おかげでイベントは大盛り上がりだったよ。大したものじゃないけど、これ今日のおだちんに。
あ、吉郎おじさん。私にはないの？おだちん。
可愛いのが出てきましたわよ。
She even like explicitly said she wanted something. That's the worst part. When Tatako and Rika-chan opened up the bag, there were cute little stuffed animals inside. This is new music, I think. I don't think we've heard this one. I'm gonna let it play for a second. Nice song. We'll keep moving though.
これ可愛い。お持ち帰りしていいの？本当に？
ってことは俺のもかな。お、なんだかやたら可愛いのが出てきたぞ。
He even straight up said it was adorable, but it was a stuffed toy wearing a beautiful dress, one he'd used to play house. Rena's eyes were glued to my stuffed doll. Satoko's the same, and Rika-chan too? Did you not even look at me? See, it wasn't just Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan. There's one other person who seemed jealous.
ケイちゃんには一番似合わないのが出てきちゃったね。
Not wanting for her expression to give it away, she had said that to hide her embarrassment.
なんつうのか、プリティっていうか、キュートっていうか、可愛いのは認めるんだが、着せ替え人形はちょっとな。
ケイちゃんが持ってたら確実に明日からあれな趣味の人扱いだね。うん。
Mion's usual teasing way of talking. I looked around to see who I should give the doll to. Mion was right in front of me. Mion was the only one who hadn't received a present, so I thought about giving it to her. But I didn't. Yep. I bet if you didn't see this the first time when this CG popped up, man, does that face say it all.
くれるの？レナに？ありがとう。
Turning away from Mion's covetous gaze, I gave the doll to Rena. Mion's smile bore into my back. There was no way I couldn't have noticed. Why did I not give it to Mion? Since Mion was the only one who didn't get anything, wouldn't it have just been standard practice to give it to her? At that time, I noticed that something was wrong. That's why I said it.
保身のためだよ。レナにあげないと夜道が怖い。
Laughing off the pain.
違いない違いない。
ミオンにあげようかと思ったけど、ちょっと違うよな。
Yeah, right, he did straight up say it. Something dark flickered briefly in Mion's eyes, but at the time I didn't notice it. I thought to give it to Mion. Why didn't I?
へへへへ、分かってるじゃない。私さ、どうして男に生まれなかったのかなって思う時あるよ。
That exact thought, basically. That song's picking up, and it fits so well. Mion herself had said that with a laugh, so I didn't realize that I had hurt her.
そうだな。ミオンってかっこいい系の方が似合うやつだもんな。
And you drove it home several
だからこ
times.
の店の手伝いはシオンちゃんが来て正解だったと思うぜ。
What's the difference? Yeah, I mean that's the point. That's what he did. Huh? Shion asked, probably thinking she misheard me.
その制服、ミオンなんかには絶対に似合わないと思うけど、シオンちゃんにはよく似合ってると思うしさ。
So what's the difference, right?
それって
I think she kind of saw an opportunity, right? To be seen the way she'd wanted to be seen, right? Well, terribly trying to lie to probably trying to terribly lie to get her way out of the situation. And then because she kind of got the validation that she'd been looking for, you know, she stuck with it. Shion, like Ren often does, spaced out and turned bright red. Mion seemed really happy. She seemed happy that I complimented Shion, saying that it didn't suit Mion, but that it suited Shion. Saying that it suited her seemed to make her happy.
ミオンの双子の妹なんだよ。性格は違うけど、外見は瓜二つなんだ。
そうそう。外見は似てるけど中身は大違いなんだよ。
Yeah.
私は優しくて思慮深いけど、シオンは冷めてておっかない性格なんだよね。
多分生まれた時にミオンの女の子らしい部分は全部シオンに行っちゃったんだと思う。
He's been saying things throughout this whole chapter that really have exacerbated the problem. I think I've called out most of them.
ミオンと違
I remember
って
this scene too.
実にはにかんだ笑顔の似合う可愛い女
Like
の子
how
なんだ。
messed up that was, because I know I explicitly remember saying like maybe it's a stretch, maybe Mion doesn't care, but I feel like the things he was I remember saying like I think the things he's saying could be really hurtful, right? And it's pretty clear that they were, right? I had a feeling this is where that was going, but Mion made a strange face that was both angry and happy at the same time. Seemed she was happy that I said Shion was cute, but sad that it tore down Mion at the same time. Sneaking a look inside the box, to say that she just put some of the leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside.
本当にいいのか？これタバスコとかがいっぱい入ってるとか、そういう冗談じゃないのかよ。
もうお姉じゃないんですから、私そんなことしませんよ。別に嫌なら無理しなくても、帰って自分で食べちゃいますから。
Not my sister. That was how she said it. Shion was insistent that she wasn't Mion. She was saying that she was Shion, and that I shouldn't think of her as Mion. When Mion was Shion, it carried a special meaning. And there's the
みー
scene
ちゃ
in
んっ
the
て不
school.
思議でしょ？
Yeah.
女の子なんだけど男の子みたいっていうか。
That's what Rena said. Is this going to be the scene where she talked about how everybody doesn't appear like they look?
でもね、
Probably, yeah.
そんなみーちゃんも本当はすっごく女の子らしいんだよ。
And he even denied it in the moment, right?
レナ、お前ミオンにいくらもらったんだよ。
Yeah, he said something that hurtful.
違うの。
She was trying to give him the hint. She really was. I bet Mion was listening too.
もうちゃんとした話をしてるんだよ。だよ。
Rena began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around.
みーちゃんは部活の部長さんだからみんなのリーダーとして頑張ってるけど、本当はとっても可愛い女の子なんだよ。それ特に圭一くんには忘れてほしくないの。
It's not that he forgot, he never noticed. There never was a riddle to begin with. Rena was saying the answer right from the beginning. Yeah, literally was.
それでもう私何が何だか。
うん。
ケイちゃんに悪気がなかったのは分かってる。分かってるつもり。
うん。圭一くんは人を傷つけるような人じゃないよ。だからみーちゃんが痛みを覚える必要なんか。
じゃあ何なんだろうね。悔しいのか、それとも悲しいのか、全然分かんなくて。
God dang.
欲しかった？あのお人形。レナがもらったのをあげても何にも解決にならないもんね。
I don't think it would.
そうだね。
It wasn't so much about
じゃ
the
あみ
doll.
ーちゃん、
It wasn't so much about the doll, it was more about the way Keiichi saw her.
圭一くんにおねだりしてごらんよ。正面からぶつかってみた方が結構解決できるかもしれないよ。
そんなのできるわけないじゃない。
今さら恥ずかしくてできない？
ミオンじゃない私でもう一回やり直したい。そうしたら 今度はもっと素直になりたい。
God dang.
ミオンとしてのケイちゃんとの関係はとても気に入ってるよ。わがままだと知ってるけど、もう一回。
きっと気づいてくれるよ、ケイ。
そうかな。
He did. And I feel like that only exasperates the problem.
レナも応援するから。みーちゃんの悲しみが軽くなる方法を探してみようよ。私を信じて。
Miranda seems like the real MVP right now, not
みーちゃん
gonna
を泣かせたりなんか絶対にさせないから。
lie. Uh-oh. Oh god. That determination is scary.
信じる。信じる。
きっとケイイチくんはみーちゃんのことも分かってくれるよ。それでね、無神経なことを言ってごめんねって言って、あのお店にみーちゃんを連れて行って、あのお人形をプレゼントしてくれるの。
うん。うん。
そうしたら、みーちゃんもありがとうって言うんだよ。茶化しちゃダメだよ。素直に言うんだからね。
God dang. I made the left click there.
欲しいなって言ったら、ケイちゃん、買ってくれます？
I feel like... I almost feel like you should say no. But he's gonna say yes. I think he needs to confront this head on. He might need to just apologize literally right now. I think is the way to do it. Right, because I feel like if he buys it for her, things absolutely aren't gonna change. Right, in her head. In fact, it'll probably get worse, right, if he's willing to buy it for Shion, but not for Mia. Mion said it quietly, doing her best to quell her embarrassment. I had reflexively begun to lightly tease her to hide my embarrassment. But like Mion, I quelled that impulse.
いいよ、ミオン。今日までのお礼ってことで、どれでも買ってやるよ。
There you go. That's a way of apologizing. Right, and making it clear that he understands. My voice cracked with the unfamiliar words. In order to not lose to Mion trying her best, I tried my best as well.
だから私、ミオンじゃなくてシオン。
じゃあ、シオンに買ってやるよ。
Shion looked down, red-faced. She pointed at the doll in the dress through the store window.
本当にいいんですか？あのドレスのだけはちょっぴり高いんですよ。
値段の問題じゃないだろう。気持ちの問題だよ。
私、今日はケイちゃんに嫌なお客さんから助けてもらえて本当に嬉しかったです。
I really like that music.
先輩たちもみんな助けてくれなかったのに、ケイちゃんだけは助けてくれました。
Yeah, not wrong.
私の肩をグイって引っ張ってくれましたよね。
He did, actually.
あの時、すごくかっこよかったです。
Even if all you did was get beat up.
なのに私、恥ずかしくって、ちゃんとしたお礼もできなくって。
I clamped my hand down on Shion's head and ruffled her hair roughly, like how I would to Rena and the others. When I did that, Shion, like Rena would have, spaced out and blushed slightly.
そんな難しいのは抜きでいいよ。あの時、あげてればよかったんだ。そうすれば、みんな楽しく笑ってられたんだ。
Shion didn't respond. She turned bright red, like she was trying to hold back both laughter and
今
tears.
買ってくれよ。そこで待ってろよ。
私も一緒に行きます。
Yeah, let her go with you. Don't say no to that. Saying that, she grabbed onto my arm once again. She wasn't trying to be stoic anymore.
お姉がどうしてケイちゃんのことを好きなのか、私、よく分かった気がします。
This music is simultaneously really nice, yet has a weird vibe that makes me concerned.
ねえ、ケイちゃんのこと、ちょっぴり好きになってもいいですか？
Perhaps. The unfamiliar situation made my head start to spin. Whoa, what am I doing? I had reached my limit. Smiling wryly to hide my embarrassment, I dragged Shion into the store with me. Boy could not answer that. Boy was done, he was tapped out.
すみません。表のショーウィンドウにあるドレスの人形が欲しいんですけど。
After a moment, I heard a voice of acknowledgement, and an apron-clad employee soon appeared.
ケイちゃん
No shot! Are you actually serious? I was so unbelievably sure. I should have known Keiichi being that sure about it was like a terrible sign, but... Ouch. Oh my goodness.
それになんであんたがここにいるの？バイト中のお姉には関係ありません。
Oh no.
私、ケイちゃんとデート中なんですから。
Oh my god. No shot.
なんでケイちゃん。
Even if you ask why, I'd like to know the answer myself. Mion looked at me with an expression of confusion and surprise. That was the same with me. If she was there, then who was next to me?
最初からそうだって言ってますよ。園崎シオンです。お姉の双子の妹ですよ。ケイちゃんだって私のことをシオンって呼んでたじゃないですか。
Shion saying that pouted cutely.
どういうことなの？説明してよ、シオン。別にお姉がご就寝のケイちゃんってどんな人なのかなって思って、デザートフェスタのチケットを都合してあげたんです。
Oh my god, you're so vile for that.
そしたらケイちゃん、私が嫌なお客さんに絡まれているところにさっそうと現れて、バッタバッタとなぎ倒して私を助けてくれて。
No shot. This is happening. Are you serious? You've got to be kidding me. Both Mion and I raised our voices pathetically, expressing our confusion to the
ミオン
utmost.
が電話をくれたろ昨日さ。
しないよ私。何のことか全然わかんない。
Dear God.
私、ケイちゃんのためにお弁当を届けてあげたよね。あれは私だもんね。
Bro, you're
それと
evil.
もあれ、お姉だったの？
Bro, you are evil. You are evil.
園崎ミオンともあろうお方が手作り弁当を作って男の子の家に海外しく届けに行ったと？へえ、お姉って見かけによらず大胆。
With a loud pop, a trail of smoke began to rise from Mion's head.
いや、知らない知らない。
What is going on
ほら
right
ね
now?
ケイちゃん、お姉は知らないって。だから昨日までのは全部私、園崎シオンなの。私のふりをしたお姉かもしれないって思ってたかもしれないけど、これで疑いは晴れたでしょ？
I couldn't tell up from down at that moment. If there was a mirror around, I could have seen my eyes go wide from the shock.
さあ、店員さん、表のショーケースの人形包んでくださいね。
Shion might be the most evil human, like, known to man for that. Wow. Oh my god. You're vile. She totally knew what was happening. It got him to do this in front of Mion, didn't he?
大好きになった人からの初めてのプレゼントだから、ちゃんとリボン付きで梱包してほしいです。
Mion, completely flustered, was being cornered by a sly-faced Shion. My brain had stopped working.
そんな、ケイちゃん。何がどうなって。
That's a great question.
じゃあ行こう。ケイちゃん、もう暗くなってきたから、お家まで送ってあげるね。おねえ、悪いけど沖宮の家に電話して車を回すように言ってもらえる？
Oh, shot, bro.
自転車も積めるようにワゴンか何かで来てほしいって伝えてね。
In contrast to Shion, who had glee written all over her face, Mion was an empty shell and looked like she could burst into tears at any moment.
ケイちゃん。
Yeah, this is gonna be awkward tomorrow, huh? After that, Mion's grumblings were unrelenting. Well, the author of this game just outplayed the hell out of me. Okay. So I correctly identified the source of the issue. I incorrectly identified the solution to that. I did identify that the source of the problems was the fact that, you know, Mion didn't like the way she was being treated by Keiichi and the present and all of that. I really did think she was pretending to be Shion. I really did think that. I think I should have known they were going to play that off for laughs. I should have known. I should have known better. Unbelievable. No, completely believable. And that's the problem. Wow.
だから初めましてじゃないですって。昨日まで毎日お会いしてたじゃないですか。
もういい。お前がそうだって言うならそういうことでいい。
Someone from Shion's house came to get me in a station wagon. I had initially refused, but Shion insisted, and so both my bicycle and I ended up stuffed into the car. Said car was currently driving across the single bumpy road leading to Hinamizawa. For goodness sake, Shion was at Mion's level at least, or maybe an even better actor. Either way, no matter what questions I pressed her with, she'd slip out of them like an eel.
しかし、そっくりだな。ミオンみたいに髪を後ろで結んだら、やっぱりミオンそっくりになるのか？
Probably.
さあ、試せばそうなるんじゃないですか？私たち筋金入りの一卵性ですから。
Yeah, I still can't believe
昔は
that.
服を取り替えっこしただけで誰も見破れなかったものです。
Still can't believe I got outplayed like
お
that.
姉と一緒に断るごとに入れ替わっていろいろと騙したりしましたっけ？
The middle-aged driver wearing a black suit heaved a heavy sigh, like he were a butler.
なあにかさい、その深いため息は。
失礼しました。昔から変わられないなと思っただけですよ。
No, not one bit, apparently. You could see many years of hardship on the man's face through the rearview mirror. That man's like, not another one.
それより、ケイちゃんの家ってこっちでいいんですか？葛西は園崎本家の道以外はひなみ沢をよく知らないから。任せておくと矢後内あたりまで走ってっちゃいますよ。
そりゃ困る。すみません。次の右に入る細い道のところで止めてください。そこまでで結構です。
He stopped the car at the desired place. The driver, Kasai-san, got my bike out of the trunk for me.
あ、どうもすみません。今日は送ってもらってありがとうございます。
圭一さんでしたか、お名前。
What's up, dude? I honestly didn't think we'd get a sprite for him. That's kind of crazy.
あ、はい。
いろいろと災難はあると思いますが、そのうち飽きると思いますので、どうかそれまでご辛抱ください。
Bro's telling us to weather the storm. He gave me a deep, deep look of sympathy. This guy has definitely been dealing with the Sonozaki sisters ever since they were little kids.
ですが、 ミオンさんと同じで根は優しい方なんですよ。
それはつまりミオン並みに迷惑をかけるやつだということですか。
The man's face froze in a smile, his reply lost. Hey, back me up here. He just
じゃあ
did.
ねケイちゃん、また会いましょうね。お姉にもよろしくお伝えください。私も明日からひなみ沢の学校に通おうかな。
絶対に来るな。シオンが転校してきたら俺が沖宮の学校に転校するから。
That's
それはすごくひどいことですよケイちゃん。
yeah, that was really mean. That boy's fed up. A short beep of the horn. The man gave a little wave to me from the driver's seat. Then the car withdrew into the dark night roads, leaving dust in its wake. Man, this entire day made no sense. I ran into Mion while I was with Shion, and the former's expression, like a pigeon shot with a pellet gun, had finally begun to make a strong impression on me. Golly, bro. Are you serious right now? You have got to be kidding. So, let's start. Let's talk about this. Honestly, that end revelation literally changes everything. We know Shion Sonozaki is a vile, vile woman who almost certainly did that on purpose, if you ask me. If you ask me, I've been pretty certain about a few things. I don't know that I've been wrong about the things that I've been really certain about, besides, you know, the huge one from this episode. I felt pretty certain that, you know, Shion was just Mion pretending. Nope. It was Shion. It was Shion Sonozaki. Right? And whew, that was vile. I think her sister might have confided in her. And then she did. I think she purposefully brought Keiichi there to get him to buy the exact doll that Mion wanted. From Mion. That is the most vile thing imaginable, to be honest. Ignoring how vile that is, how do you get out of that situation? What do you do? Right? Do you just kind of... I don't know. Like, do you just talk about it with her tomorrow and be like, look, I'm gonna be completely real with you. I thought that was you. Like, I literally just thought that was you. I thought that was you pretending. And then you apologize for what the issue was, because you were correct. You were correct. You correctly identified it. And then just go buy her the doll. Boom, right? It might not really be that simple, but that's probably the best you can do right now. And I have a feeling he's going to do not that. I have a feeling they're going to beat around the bush. I wouldn't be surprised if it sounds like he's fed up with Shion, right? It sounds like he does not want anything to do with her after that. Right? The way he said, you transfer here, I'm transferring out. Right? Like, it sounds like he wants nothing to do with her. So I don't think we have to worry about him just continuing to date Shion. But, man, she really played all of that up, I think, just to piss Mion off. I see why Mion called her cold and calculating. It adds up. She's right. She is. She really is. Good God. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so that was something. We're at 2 hours already? I want to keep playing. I want to keep playing, though. But, like, at the 2 hour mark, I really shouldn't. The dilemma I ran into last time. That, like... We're at 2 hours. It's probably too far in to, like, to keep going, but I want to keep going anyways. Okay, so fun fact. I actually did end up continuing to record, but that episode ended up being 4 hours long. Chances are a lot of you guys would have been fine with that, but I thought that was just a bit much. I have a clean split right at the 2-hour mark. So I went ahead and cut the episodes, and here's the outro. So I will say there's another video already ready to go. And so you should be getting another episode probably in 2 days. Probably 48 hours after this one is released is my best guess. Unless I record another one in that time, and then maybe I'll do day after. I don't know. But either way, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I thought this was a great chapter. I really enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys all in the next video when it comes out soon. Peace.